I don't know why people kill each other. There are a lot of suggestions, there are a lot of proposals, there are a lot of ideas. I don't know why people kill each other. It's a big part of my job to do my best to try to make sure that I make it as difficult as possible, if not almost impossible, for people to kill each other. And that is about investing in people, it's about programs, it's about services, it's about education. It's about education over incarceration. It's about making sure that only the folks who really do need to be detained are detained, and others who are not so caught up in the system that they can't figure out a way out. I would hope that America's eyes were open, maybe just a little more, not only at the front end of the death of a 17-year-old who was minding his business, trying to go to a store, had somebody for some reason following him, and then decided that he was some kind of a threat with iced tea and a bag of Skittles. Somehow, some way, there was something about him that told the other person that this is someone to be watched. Well, I don't know what would tell him that. And the actions are inexcusable. And as many of us discussed on the day and the night and the next day of that decision with regard to the killer of Trayvon Martin, the jury may have found him not guilty, but they did not find him innocent. That man did kill Trayvon Martin. That was never in dispute. And one day, it could be Judgment Day, but I believe in that. You'll be judged accordingly by a higher authority. And we need to make sure that in this city, we don't have the same experience. But what I was saying earlier was that I'm hopeful that America's eyes were open just a little bit more to the issue of what is it like to be a black or a brown or other color of God's rainbow in this country, and the challenges that many of us face. And whether you're highly educated or haven't had as many opportunities as some of us to get a good education, whether you're working right now or not working right now, everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. Everyone. 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 And then it came out, there seemed to be some unusual things going on from time to time in Florida. It was right after the Zimmerman decision, we learned of a young lady who, trying to defend herself from her known abuser husband, fired a warning shot, didn't shoot him, and is now doing 20 years in jail. Well, George Zimmerman did shoot Trayvon Martin. No one questioned that. And is free. I heard he just got himself in a little bit of trouble or had something with the police and still carrying a gun, and some days I just don't understand. As the president said, all of us have had our experiences, especially young black men. I like to still consider myself a relatively young black man, but I was actually really young one time. And some may or may not know, and I've mentioned on a couple occasions, I think sometimes folks forget, I grew up right out in West Philadelphia, 55th and Larchwood. I grew up around the corner from the 18th Police District. I've been stopped by the police when I was a teenager. Stopped by the police when I was in my 20s. I was stopped by the police 2 times when I was a member of Philadelphia City Council. And I have a city car, and I didn't jump out and immediately say who I was or what my position was. I'm just a citizen here in this city. And I want to know how everybody gets treated. So I know a little bit about that. It's uncomfortable. And I'll tell you, on the flip side of that, car stop, Sometimes pedestrian stops are some of the most dangerous things that police officers do. But you did sign up to be a police officer, and that is dangerous work. And we require you to treat everyone with dignity and respect until they give you reason to think otherwise. Treat them the way you want your family members to be treated. And then whatever the exchange is, whatever the experience is, let's move on. And then we had last week in this city. Somebody said something either out of their mouth or out the side of their neck. Didn't think anybody was listening. And I sent this out. Folks may have wondered why I sent out a little message today. You know, I'm on Twitter, and apparently folks were wondering where I was or why I wasn't on, and I just took a little break. If you've seen the movie 42, Jackie Robinson, you know that one of the worst experiences that Jackie Robinson had in 1947, 66 years ago, was unfortunately actually right here in Philadelphia. And the coach of the then Phillies used the same word that the Philadelphia Eagles player used last week. 66 years later, still dealing with the same kind of nonsense, same kind of mindset and thought. And so I try, when I talk to young people, to tell them that, you know, unfortunately, people make decisions about you and make a judgment in their mind within about the first 5 to 10 minutes of any encounter with another human being. And you might spend the rest of the afternoon or the day or the night or the rest of your life trying to convince them otherwise from what their initial impression was. And so first impressions do actually make a big difference in how you talk with folks, how you present yourself, how you interact with other people. And so all of this for me is the constant and daily struggle of how do we just conduct ourselves, and how do we just feel comfortable being ourselves and walking around this city, walking around this state, walking around this region, walking around the United States of America, where all of us are supposed to have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, where all of us are supposed to be created equal, where all of us are supposed to have some semblance of opportunity to make our lives better for ourselves, and we have a family to do the same thing. That has got to be, that has to be, that must be our daily goal. Taking that opportunity to show some other folks that some of us are not the images that you might see on television or on the news or in a movie. Every black guy is not a drug dealer. Every black guy is not up to something negative. Every black guy is not a criminal or even thinking about being involved in negative activity. It's sad, quite frankly, in 2013 that we have to have some of these conversations. But we do. And I think until we're really serious and truly ready to have a real conversation about issues of race and crime and perception and jobs and education and investment and revitalization of our communities, as long as there are some in elective office who think that some people just want to sit around and collect a check rather than have a job, which is just absolutely wrong and is a lie. It's just a lie. It's just a lie. But folks will keep saying it. That fits their political philosophy or agenda or whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish. And so I appreciate all of you being out tonight. There's a message that needs to go out, especially from this city. that we'll be especially intolerant about intolerance. That this city was founded on certain principles of tolerance. That people should be able to be who they want to be. They also should be able to love and marry whoever they want to love and marry. I understand why some folks feel like they need to be up in everybody's business and often can't take care of their own business. They're always worried about somebody else. God forbid somebody else would be happy and just really ruin their day. Let's stay strong.